Okay, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm being consistent, crazy. That's good though, right? Okay. As we can see, my walls are barren and we're on a new camera. And so, very exciting stuff. I wanted to get a new camera for YouTube specifically and just for vlogging purposes, just because it's like my favorite thing is just to document stuff. And so YouTube is a great way to output what I document. But oh, sorry, not but. And so I wanted to up the quality, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But yeah, right now I'm gonna have some clips of me this morning and like me talking about my day because today was my first day of school. Well, technically second day, but the first day that I actually went into school because my Mondays are an online class. And so I'll have those clips play now. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's super nice to see you guys again. Currently I'm making breakfast. Today I'm having my first day of class and I'm so nervous, but I'm also really excited, so it's okay. I don't want to wear this jacket though, but I'll bring it with me anyways. Oops, sorry. Just in case it gets cold, because it probably will be cold in the classrooms, I would assume. I'm so nervous, but it's okay. I know where all my classes should be, or they are. They're like in like the same, like they're like near the same building, so it's not like super far either. But I'm really excited to have breakfast this morning because I really wanted to try this because I saw this in our fridge last night. Garlic butter. I just got that in my hair. Garlic butter. Anyways, I'm trying to get there early just because I'm really like frazzled, like I'm really anxious. But it's okay, we persist and it'll be more than fine. Am I wearing the same shirt that I wore in my last video? Yes. Can you guys not be mad at me? This is like my favorite shirt right now. I just got it recently and I love it. And it's like very just like nice. It just looks really nice. Whatever. I don't want to wear this jacket anymore. Okay. I think I want to make a video on all my school supplies because I'm very excited. Like, I love all the school supplies that I have. I didn't buy any, like, too many new things because I have a multitude of, like, writing utensils and, like, writing things that I use a lot. And so I was like, wow, I really don't find it necessary for me to buy, like, any more writing stuff. So I didn't buy any more writing stuff. But I'm gonna angle this so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Anyways, I didn't buy anything new, like, in terms of writing utensils, because I have a multitude of those that I've collected over the years, because I'm a big stationery nerd, but I got a bunch of, like, different, like, folders and notebooks, and, like, this reusable notebook, which I'm so excited to, like, utilize, because I picked out my own paper for it. And shout out to Soggy Rice 3 because she's a great YouTuber and I low-key took a lot of her recommendations when it comes to paper because she likes like the similar like kind of paper that I would prefer when it comes to writing on, because I've been very big on fountain pens for a while and I love having fountain pens and I love the ink that I use, so I try to use it as much as I can, but usually I don't write too much, so I don't usually tend to use it other than like when I journal, but it's super cool now because I can just do that. I forgot to take off my Fitbit. Usually when I'm like trying to dress up and like have an outfit, I take off my Fitbit, and then what I do with my Fitbit is I just shove it in my pocket and it'll still track like my steps and stuff, but it won't like just be on my wrist. Times like this where I get my most performative, I think, because I'm like, wow, I really want to like be cool and impress people, but hopefully I don't fail too much on the cool part. But I definitely am feeling like a little performative today, but that's okay. Also, I don't have a way to set up my phone in my camera in my car yet, so sorry guys. we're heading out. I'm putting on my shoes. Actually, I can give you guys a little bit of a fit check. No? Hold on. Let me put down stuff. This is not a good angle to capture the whole outfit. Okay. This is a belt I got on Depop and has like a rose like buckle. It's really cool. This shirt I got recently from Brandy Melville. My hair. And the jeans are, I think I got them on ThredUp because I don't know, I just looked on ThredUp. Well, I like the way that ThredUp has their like selection kind of displayed, because then they'll have like the actual like pair of clothes on a mannequin, so then you can kind of see the flair of it, I guess, which I'm kind of picky about, but not really either. Okay. Also, I have my iPod in my back pocket because performative. But either way, I can't wear that when I drive. Again, secondary look at the nails. This hand was the better try. This was my first try at it. It's okay, but this one's a lot better. I don't know if the camera will pick it up as well as I like, but okay, let's go. But anyways, in the spirit of school starting, I wanted to kind of like let you guys know like all the school supplies that I have, and what I bring to school, like basically kind of like a backpack haul, not a haul, tour, and all that kind of jazz. I don't know if this is something y'all even care about, but like I'm a big stationery nerd, and so I kind of really love indulging in this kind of thing and talking about it because I just really quite like stationery. And so this is basically just my, like me talking about what I bring and what I use for school and stuff. So yeah, I think I'm going to utilize a mixture of physical stuff and then a mixture of online stuff. So first of all, I'll talk about my laptop. I have a ThinkPad. I forget the exact specifications of the laptop. It's a ThinkPad something T14, I think. It's a Lenovo. And the reason why I wanted a ThinkPad was because these are sturdy. Like these are used like a lot. Like for my physics class, like 2 years ago, you use ThinkPads because they were just very well versed in terms of just like specs and how it works, and it works great. It's really fantastic. I've had it for maybe like 3 months now, and so I'm very pleased with it because it just is really fantastic. I would say as well, the reason why I opted for this over like maybe a MacBook, because it's not even like my course is super electronically extensive. Like I don't need like 10 different programs for it, you know what I mean? Like it would probably be fine just with like a Mac, but I hate like the iOS. Like I hate that, what is it, like the Mac system, the OS system. I hate it. I'm very familiar with the Windows. I grew up with Windows, and so I just preferably would opt for Windows, and so that's why I opted for this. I have a sticker on here. This sticker is from another YouTuber that I subscribe to here, and she's commented on like one of my videos before. Like, I'll have the link to her shop in the description. But look at that. That's so sick. Beautiful. And I talked about it like 2 seconds ago, but my nails are so cute. Like I don't think I've had like a plain like solid color in a while. Well, it's not a solid color technically because it is what's the word? Cat's eye and glittery and all that jazz, but I like it the way that it is. So I also want to go through like what I actually like use on my laptop, what are my necessities for my laptop, and like in terms of school. So I use like a multitude of things. I use Notion. I use that for some of my like tracking stuff online, in terms of like with assignments and like courses and information about my courses, that kind of thing. I also use Google Calendar so that I can track like appointments, events, school stuff, classes, that kind of thing. It's not like super planned out either, but those are just some of the things I use. I also am planning to implement OneNote for like online notes, because while I'm very big on physical notes, and I think writing notes physically is a lot better for me and has worked a lot better for me in terms of like application and actually learning the material. Sometimes my fingers type faster than I can write, and I really like my notes to be illegible, writing to be eligible, because I like to be able to look back over it. And I think that's why I kind of have like a balance between digital as well as online, because, or sorry, digital as well as physical, because I like my notes physically to look nice and to be separated nicely and to look and work nicely. That's the best way for my brain to process things, and to have like notes that I can actually look back on. And so I'm gonna use OneNote because I think OneNote, well, I also have like the whole Microsoft like system, I guess, like with Word and like whatever else they have. But I think that system just works like a lot better, because I know with OneNote you can have like tabs and separating things and organization that just is really exquisite. Like the way that I'm very picky as well about organization. I like when things are organized nicely, and the thing with OneNote is it is organized nicely. And then obviously I use Canva because it's Canva, and I implemented the Better Canva extension. They have that on Firefox as well, which I was pleased about because I use Firefox on the regular. They have they have the extension, and then you can just kind of update things or organize things on the app so that Canva looks a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, which I prefer, to be able to adjust things like in that way so that it looks nice to my eyes. I'm very big on aesthetics and functionality, so I think it's just really nice. I don't do anything crazy either. I think I've only just adjusted the images that they have on like the courses so that it looks just cohesive, I guess. Either way, I think that's all that I use for college on my laptop. Okay, for this next section, shout out to Soggy Rice 3 for putting me on to like good paper, because this was like the whole reason why most of these like supplies that I have are these supplies. So here we'll have my notebooks, and I have a multitude of them, and I really love the way that I'm having this system set up, because these all get to be really sustainable and reusable over however long that I use them, or however long I can use them for. And that's like just to speak to their like longevity. Like I don't know that yet. Anyways, notebooks. Very excited about this. So I indulged in Campus, or what is it, Kokuyo, which is also commonly labeled as Campus for people who frequent Daiso. So I got a couple variations, kind of a couple variations, 2 variations of notebooks in the way that they kind of offer them. This one, I have no clue what the name is, but it's like a really thin like notebook, and then you can just fill it up with paper. And so here, the mechanics of this one, you can, how do I word this? You can click this down, and then it'll open up like a binder kind of, if you are familiar with like the typical binders that you could buy for like $1 maybe. And then you can refill the paper. And so I like that mechanic a lot. I like the mechanism a lot, and I like this paper as well, which I'll talk about later. Well, let me specify. This paper in this notebook is the paper that it originally came with, or all of these originally came with, but I wanted to then use this paper for like pencil writing. And I'll get into that because there's all like different kinds of papers that Kokuyo offers. And so it's just very specific to your like wants and your needs and like what you actually want in paper and in a notebook. But I'll just talk about the notebook for now, and I'll get on the paper in a minute. So that's the mechanic of this, and I have 2 of them. This one is a clear cover, and this one is a light blue cover. And I love light blue. I'm realizing like a lot of the things that I own are very incredibly light blue, and that's because I have them laid out right now, and I'm just like, oh, I'm very obvious. I like blue and white and green in it, or not green, blue, white, and gray, and so it's very evident, but besides the point. These two have the same mechanism though in terms of notebook, and I think the highlight to this is the way that they can lay flat. And to specify on that, you can just open it, flip it over, lies flat just like that. And it's so thin, it's such a thin like little thing, and so you can just keep this around and carry this around with you. And I also, we'll talk about that in a second, but I really like these mechanisms, and I have two different papers for these ones. I'll get on that in a minute, but here is the other notebook. This is a more bulky one that I'm planning to use for my core classes for my like major, just because this is a lot bulkier and I can hold into a lot more of this. Anyways, this is a different form of a notebook. It has 4 rings unlike the other one. My lighting is over here, so I'm kind of struggling a little bit, but that's okay. The clips are like here, and then it's the same mechanism though, technically, pretty much the same mechanism, where you can just squeeze the little clips. I hope I'm not, oh wait, let me close. That's showing a little bit of information. You just squeeze the clips and then they'll pop open like that, and then you can refill your paper. I love it. I love the mechanisms of these notebooks so much, and I think it's just really nice, and it's also really reusable and sustainable, because then you just have you just replace the paper and then you keep it going, and the paper's not very expensive either, which I'll talk about the paper in a second. But yeah, the way that I have this set up, I have 2 different papers in here because it actually came with like a blank sheet in the way back, and so I think I'm gonna hole punch more sheets like this so I can kind of separate things, or different kinds of paper. But I have grid paper here, and then I also have the lined paper here that I use. And so these are my notebooks. I'm just kind of planning to differentiate them. Not like, it's not too crazy the way I'm doing it. I guess I just figure out by each semester the way that I'm going to differentiate the courses with each notebook. That's kind of the system that I have it as right now. Just 3 notebooks, 2 of the same variation, and then 1 different one. But these are really fantastic. I really like the way that I have these set up so far, and I really love just the way that it's just built to be reused, and I think that's really sick to me, and I really quite like that. Okay, next we're going to be talking about paper. I have 2 different ones right now, but later on I'm going to supplement another one for the paper that I'm using in this notebook that I don't know if I articulated it that well in the last clips, but the paper in this one is different from the paper that I used in the other ones, because this one is just, I think, better suited for writing with pencil, whereas the paper that I got, which looks like this, is suited for like fountain pens or pens and that kind of thing. And I thought, like, I didn't research into it too like specifically, but from what I know, this paper works well with fountain paper. I think it's the smooth paper, and it's B5, and I made sure to get ones with a lot of lines because I can write small. This is 5mm ruled, 43 lines, 26 holes. Anyways, my whole thing with this paper was that I liked that it had a lot of lines, I liked that it was smooth, and I liked just the thinness of the paper. I think the Kikuyo like paper quality is very fantastic because it's very like thin, and it doesn't bleed through from what I've seen so far with what I've written. And so I like this paper a lot. This is the one that I'm using for 2 of the notebooks that I have that I showed you guys. I really like this paper, and I plan to use this for a lot of the stuff that I do when it comes to like pens, because I really like writing with fountains pens, and I have 3 of them, and I want to run through one of my inks right now so that I can eventually replace it, because I'm not like in love with the color, but I don't hate the color. But I'll get on like writing utensils later. The other paper that I have is like this grid paper. I'm not like necessarily picky with like grid paper either, like, or I wasn't necessarily like picky with the grid paper, because to me it's just grid paper. I find this a lot more like relaxing, like I just can write whatever just because I don't care so much. Like I said, I'm the tiniest bit of a perfectionist when it comes to like writing and when it comes to like putting things down and all that jazz. I don't know how to otherwise word it. I'm very picky, but with grid paper, I literally truly do not care the way that I write with it, because to me it's just like not, it's like whatever, it's fine. It's just like particularly the grid paper, what I wanted was essentially scratch paper, because it's just paper that I don't care about. And for me, I find it a lot better to be very loose and free with what I'm writing. At times, again, like at the end of the day, I'm like super perfectionist about like how I write notes and how it looks and how it'll like serve me later on. So grid paper is just doesn't matter to me in the long run. So it's like I just want to be able to throw things down without really caring about it. And the fact that it's grid and not lined, when things are lined, like when paper is lined, I find it so much more of a hassle to kind of differentiate from the, or to move off of the lines and like do my own thing with that kind of thing. And so that is difficult for me. So the grid paper makes that exponentially easier for me if and when it is necessary to just jot things down like willy-nilly, which I know like I have that digitally, but I like having things physically as well. So that's why that was quite important to me. And so those are the papers that I use. By the way, the sizes for everything is B5, just to clarify. Okay, next I have folders, and I think this is like, okay, next I have two folders. This one is just a full-size one, it's light blue, and the only reason I have it is just for like letter-sized loose leaf paper and for whatever extra documents that I have that I need to store in here that are like full-size paper. Because usually when you get stuff back, it's usually like the letter size paper where it's like 8.5 inch to 11 inches or by 11 inches. And so this is literally just for that. Like that's just for extra stuff that I need. I don't assume that'll get bulky either. Second, I have another Kikuya item. This is a folder. This one was actually very much inspired by Sagittarius 3. Because what I like about this is that it's literally like, it has like, oh, well, it had paper, but I removed that and I'm using it elsewhere. But it has different like tabs, and it works the same way where it's the B5 size, and then you can just have paper, or you can organize your stuff like this, where you can just put it with the in between like these little like tabs, I guess, because then they're like a whole page of a tab like this. Oh, then there's space there, and then there's space there, and then da-da-da. So that's good for me because that's just a way for me to organize stuff once I'm done using it in like the notebook. And so this is what the folder is for. This is specifically for the notes that I take in these notebooks. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for that section as well. Eventually, like I'd imagine I get more of those because I'm a note taker. I love taking notes physically and I want to do that more. And so I imagine it might get bulky, but for now, one is fine. I don't need more than one. And yeah, so that's it for my folders. Okay, next I'm gonna talk about my like essentials, just like my personal essentials that I need for my day-to-day. These are just the things that I carry with me like literally like everywhere. I will dictate them now. For one, first thing I need, I always carry with me is at least one book. I'm always trying to read, and so my natural inclination is just to bring a book with me so that I will gravitate towards reading. So that's why I have this. Currently, I talked about it, but currently I'm reading The Biology of Desire by Mark Lewis. So, but in general, just a book. I just need a book. Second, I have this, which is pretty, actually like really essential towards my, hold on. The small one is very essential to me because this has my planner. And so in my planner, I literally dictate everything when it comes to school. Like, so it's like, oh, what day am I working on this assignment? What day am I doing this? What day am I figuring that out? Like, da 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 da. That's how I dictate when I do stuff, what I have to do, that kind of thing. But I also use that to just plan out like my day in general. Like, oh, I had my class at this time. Oh, I have time to do this at this time. I have time to do this at this time, and then da da da. I think I've probably talked about that system before, maybe not as extensively as I will do here, but I'll give like a little bit of an example as well. And because I told you guys, I like to be able to dictate things first, or sorry, to write things out first before I actually like solidify it. And so what I always have with me are like these little memo pads. And so what I do with that is like I literally just dictate, oh, 8 a.m. woke up. 10:30, I have this class. After this class, I have this class. After this class, then I have this and this and that. Okay, so that's basically it. And then I can kind of write down what I need to write wherever, because I like the blank space, to just kind of write whatever on, like whatever I need to do. And it helps me time block things a lot better in that very cohesive, comprehensive way. And then I can translate that over to just tasks and to-dos, or I do that vice versa where it's like, oh, I know I need to do this today. Oh, okay, when can I fit it into my schedule? What do I actually have to do today? And then that kind of thing. It's just like, that's kind of my system with planning. And so I need this with me throughout the day so that when I get maybe assigned something new, or I know I have to do something sooner, I can always adjust and add to my schedule and then figure that out. Next, I have my journal, and you're gonna be sick of me. I talk about this thing all the time. Half the time when I bring it out, I don't even write in it, but I always bring it out anyways, because whenever I don't, I always regret not bringing it out. Like, I think with my brain, whenever I'm out and about, I always get like a spark of inspiration. I always get a new question to ask. I always have something I want to dissect about myself. And you kind of get that a lot within human interaction, that you kind of notice something about yourself that was something you just did subconsciously. I like having my journal with me because I like to be able to dictate that and like, sorry, I keep saying the word dictate and I'm realizing that. I want the chance to just kind of write about it and like put it down somewhere and to just kind of think about it and dissect it then and there. Because then other times I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, I just gotta remember to do this later, and then but the thing is, when you experience it in the moment, that's when you're feeling it the most. And I find that I'm always more curious about things happening when it's in like the moment versus like later on when I'm like sat and made my whole like area ready to write about it. I like having my journal with me. In my journal, I have my journal, or in this like system, I have my journal, sketchbook, and I had a notebook in here, but I took it out because it's a little bulky and I don't have a need for it yet, and so that's why. Basically, I just kind of removed like one thick notebook from this. I didn't write in that often, and I removed that blank one that I had in here because I gotta carry this stuff around. So I'm like, I don't want to bulk it up more than it needs to be, and so those are like kind of my like three like essentials. And then let's talk about my writing utensils. You're gonna think it's a little overkill, but that's okay. Let's talk about it. I have 3 fountain pens and then 1 regular like pen, I guess. My 3 fountain pens are these guys. In this pen, I have the dayyyy Writer's Blood pen or ink in it, and it's like a dark, gorgeous, deep red. One of my favorite inks ever. This one, I don't know the name of the ink, but it's like this really like bright blue, and I don't love it, but I like it enough to just be like, we'll keep using it. And then this one, this has the dayyyy Earl Grey in it, which is another one of my favorite colors. So this is my rotation of writing or fountain pens that I really love. And then this is another pen that I have, which is like one of my like most like cherished pens ever, because it's just such like so beautiful to me. I'm very picky about pens, and I like when my pens are really, really like thin, when the nib is like really thin. And this is 0.38 millimeters. Usually what I see a lot is like the thinness is usually like 0.5 millimeters, which is usually fine for me. And I like it when it's like that as well. This is 0.38, and that's like bonkers to me. And this is why this is one of my favorite pens. I think this is a Mitsubishi pen, I believe. I got this like last year. This one, I have no clue what the branding is, but for these two, I think these are the platinum preppy ones, and I think this is in the extra fine size. I think they're all extra fine, but this one was a little bit scratchy when I first used it, but got used to it, and it wasn't that bad, and it's not really scratchy anymore. So extra fine. But I know they have like different things like fine, medium, and all the other jazz. But I very much love when my pens are very thin. Okay, for pencils, I have a variation, and for some of them, I don't even like them, but I'll explain like why I have them on me. These 3 pencils are, I think, 0.5 millimeter lead. That's what I prefer. I always prefer 0.5 millimeter lead, and I don't really love 0.7. So I think these 2, I have no clue, but I got this one from like it was like a stationery / K-pop place in like a store nearby me. 0.5 millimeter lead. That's all I really care about. Again, light blue. Jesus. These are my 3 0.5 millimeter pens. This one is like, I don't know what the pen is, but it's like a sketching pencil. And for for my journal, I have like a sketchbook attached to it. And so this lead is just thick. It's just thick, and I love it. I love like when the lead is like that for sketching, and so that's what I usually utilize it for. And then these 2 pencils are 0.7 millimeter lead. I usually don't use these, and when I do, or if I do, I use it for Sudoku, because my Sudoku book is like a physical thing. My Sudoku book is a physical thing. I like to have the numbers like a little bit bigger on like the actual Sudoku book, and it's also because the paper is thin, so I'm not trying to like puncture it with the 0.5 millimeter, which hasn't happened before, but just in case. But also I have these just in case someone needs a pencil, because eventually someone is asking for a pencil, and I hate 0.7, but I have a bunch of these from like ages ago, and so it's like, hey, I'll just lend it out to other people, or I'll even be like, do you want it? And then they can have it, because I have a multitude. And so that's why these 2 exist in my pouch at all times. I think I only had one before, but I guess I slipped another one in. Okay, for like kind of miscellaneous stuff, I have eraser replacements for my lead pencils. I have like this small roll of washi tape, and I also have a little mini ruler. I use this for my planner because I like sectioning off my days in terms of me stuff and then school stuff, and so that's what I have the ruler for. And for like other classes, like I had a statistics class and you needed like a straight edge, and so I have a ruler for that. And also I have 2 different kinds of lead in my bag. Always, I have so much lead. It's like a little bit, like I like over prepare a lot when it comes to stationery. I have so much lead. I have 0.5, 0.7, because those are the pencils that I have. Eventually I'm gonna need to get like the flat, I think this is a 2B like lead or something, like a flat 2B lead. And I'm probably gonna need that eventually, but for now I'm probably good. So those are the miscellaneous things that I have. And then I have 3 erasers. I'll explain all of them, I guess, because I guess like I have a reason why I carry them all. This one I got when I was out and about. I also got this the same time that I got the light blue pencil. I just like this mechanic where you can just up and down on like the thing. So that's why I like it a lot. And this is like a very rubbery like eraser, like different from the way erasers are basically always rubber. I just like the way this feels a lot more. It's like a very gel rubbery kind of thing. Sometimes I like that a lot more. This one is a matching one that I have with my friend, and I gifted her the other one, so we have the same one, but also has the same guy that I have on my pencil pouch, so that's why I like this one a lot. This is just a plain black eraser. I always manage to lose erasers, so I just have a bunch on me like 24/7, but these ones stay in like my rotation somehow. Don't really know how, but I have them. And then I have 2 highlighters. I'm not big on highlighters. I usually don't use them, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I like to differentiate. So I only have 2 on me. I have a green one, which I don't remember having. Sometimes things just trickle into like my pouch, but this gray one I always have, because again, favorite color is gray. But 2 highlighters. So those are my writing essentials. Like, it's not too shabby, it's not too crazy, but I have a multitude of stationery, so I manage to just have a bunch on me like 24/7 in terms of like just writing, like writing utensils. So yeah. Anyways, I think that's it. I don't know if this was like a silly video or if you guys like are like, bro, we don't even care like about your school stuff. But I get very like, I'm very excited because I like learning a lot, and I get like really quite like joyous about that kind of thing. And so I'm like, hell yes. I'm so excited to be going to school and to be learning and to have this opportunity to learn so much. And I'm very grateful for that kind of thing. And so I'm just like, yeah. And also like, I'm very grateful as well because I'm very much supported by my like parents and like all that jazz. Like majority or some of these school supplies, like the new ones that I've gotten were like my dad bought for me, and I appreciate him so much, and I love my parents so much. I just get really quite excited about learning. And like also it doesn't help that my classes are all ones that I'm actually really quite excited for. Like, okay, I do have to admit, I took jazz history because of like the influence of someone else, but I had like that same person who basically got me into jazz like years ago. And so I'm just like very excited to kind of delve more into like jazz history, the cultural significance, and also when I was looking through the syllabus, there was like different jazz musicians that I've heard of before, that I've listened to before. And it's just very like exciting for me to kind of indulge in that kind of thing. And so that's a class I'm very excited for. And then also my political theory class and my comparative politics class, both of my professors in those classes are so sick, and I think they are really lovely, and I'm very excited to see what I can learn from them as well. And I think I'm just very lucky, I guess, so I just get really excited about this kind of thing. And again, like I love stationery, like I'm really big on just like writing, paper, all that jazz. And so I got so geeked out to like have all this cool stuff, because I think the mechanisms of all these like the Kukuyo stuff, it's just sick. Like, do you see how thin all this stuff is? Like, hello, like my old binder was like that thick, this thick, and all I used it for was just storing stuff. But now I get to have like all this like stuff all in one like spot, and it's not even like that crazy to carry around. And so I'm just very like lucky, I guess. I'm just very happy. And so thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and you guys are super sick, and I'm being consistent again, and so life is good. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys also like the camera quality and the camera and all that stuff. I'm like a little bit nervous about it because it's like, it's been so long since I filmed with like an actual camera, so it's like an interesting thing. And eventually I'll figure out like a car mount for it for my car, and so that y'all can come along with me throughout my day the way that I've usually filmed like stuff before when I was driving in my car. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Wish me luck for the semester. Thank you.